Hi, this is Sean Clark with the Horror Channel. We're here with Sheri Moon Zombie from the Devil's Rejects. How you doing today?
Great, thanks.
So tell me a little bit about the evolution of your character from House of a Thousand Corpses to this film. It seems like you're much more grounded, not as maniacal. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, Rob really wrote a different script, a more gritty, realistic script in general. So we had a lot of discussions about how to tone down all of the characters, not only mine, but hair, wardrobe, dialogue, brought it all down to a realistic level, and I think it works. There's no camp to it anymore.
Yeah, and you cut out the crazy laugh that everybody seemed to be Baby's trademark in the first film.
Actually, I didn't. There was one scene in the movie because I was waiting while we were shooting. I'm like, when can I do the laugh? When can I do the laugh? And we did it in a scene that got cut. So maybe it'll be on like DVD or something.
Well, probably. Well, I want to something I was going to ask Rob about. I want to get your take on it as well in regards to DVD. It seems that nowadays a lot of studios are purposely making or either going with PG-13s or trying to go for a lower rating in order to repackage the film later as an uncut version to sell more DVDs. And how do you feel about that?
Greedy, 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 greedy. I mean, I think the director, they always have like the director's cut after the film's been released, but isn't the film that's released actually the director's cut as well? I mean, there's always the thing of, oh, you have to cut things out to get an R, which is able to be shown in theaters, but I'm like not about greed.
But isn't also that can sometimes be the effect of the MPAA if they happen to cut the film?
Sure. That's what I'm saying. Like an R is like pretty safe. I mean, unless you're totally making blood gore fest, and then you need an NC-17. But I think Rob's pretty happy with the R he got and what he got to include in the movie.
So in this time around, you have a different person playing your mother,
Yeah.
Leslie Easterbrook. And how was that in comparison to working with Karen Black?
Leslie's wonderful. She's a great addition to the cast. She's great to work with. I learned a lot from her, and I've told her I'm going to steal from her. She has a lot of great scenes. Different, everybody's different to work with. I loved working with Karen Black, too. I love her. Like, she's a horror icon. I learned a lot from her as well, but Leslie's great.
Do you think that maybe some of the hardcore horror fans might be a little disappointed with Devil's Rejects and the fact that it's not so much a horror film as it is like a road movie?
I think people have certain expectations when they're going in to see it, like it's going to be a slasher horror film. But, it's such an amazing, beautifully shot film. The dialogue is witty. You get the comic relief after the extreme violence. And I think people have been just pleasantly surprised, pleasantly horrified, if you will.
Yeah, well, I agree. I personally thought Devil's Rejects was light years ahead of House, but it's, more of the teen demographic that go for that sort of thing,
Yeah, but, you can't, the audience is smarter than you think. Everyone likes to dumb down the audience, but they're smart. They know when something's good. They can appreciate good art.
You had some pretty heavy scenes with William Forsythe. What was it like working with him?
Well, I was really nervous. I felt like I was going to vomit before every scene I had to do with him because I respect his work. He was great to work with, and, like everyone else, I learned a lot from him, too. I think every movie you do, you just learn from everyone you work with. It's a constant, evolution.
He seems kind of like he's one of those method actors because when we interviewed him on set, he seemed like he was still in character, and it was very intimidating.
Yeah, he's a very intimidating guy. He very method, and he just walks off after each take. No real joking in between takes. He's real serious, yeah.
What about some of the other new additions to the cast? I mean, there's kind of like a whole motley crew of new characters, and a lot of them are, I guess, a lot of Rob's favorites from older films. P.J. Souls, we got E.G. Daly, Diamond Dallas Page, and Danny Trejo, all these new additions. I mean, what was it like working with all these great icons?
It was so much fun. It was like a different thing every day. We had a lot of fun shooting the scene in the barn at Charlie's ranch when we had the dancing party scene, because all of us were there. We had a blast. Everyone was really fun. E.G. Daly's awesome. She's so cool.
Now, do you think I'm assuming Rob is finished with this story, but I mean, if the studio pushes, because if it does big, you know how the studios can push for sequels. I mean, do you think the story could be continued, or is it over?
OVE R. We're done.
You heard it here. It's done. Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Go see The Rejects, baby. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you again.